Hello, dear friends. Today we're diving into the Joy EXE Berry Prison Run. But before we jump into the action, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Also, drop a comment below to let us know what video we should make next.
Did you see that terrifying thing? Joy, care to explain what that is?
Oh, guys, I totally understand why you might have gotten confused. That creepy guard does look like me, but only at first glance. It's not just another version of me. It's my twisted, distorted copy, seemingly created just to scare and instill fear. It wears my face, but its heart is filled with nothing but coldness and darkness, with no trace of the real joy you know. This copy is nothing like me in essence. It carries only darkness and danger. So be extra careful. It might try to deceive you with its appearance, but don't be fooled. Its goal is far from mine. Keep your distance and don't let it throw you off.
Fine, Joy. We'll believe you. But I've got my eyes on that twisted copy of yours. It's infuriating how it dares to wear your face like it's trying to mock us. Every time I see it, my fists clench, and all I want to do is smash that grin right off its face. How dare it taint the image of our Joy with its sick, twisted version? This whole place is getting on my nerves with its dark corners, creepy shadows, and now this distorted copy walking around like it owns the place. If it tries anything, it's gonna learn real quick what happens when it messes with the wrong emotions.
I couldn't agree more. Just thinking about that twisted version of Joy gives me chills. It's so wrong, so utterly revolting. The way it moves, the way it looks at us with those cold, lifeless eyes. It's like it's void of any real emotion. Every time it's near, I feel like I need to cleanse myself from head to toe. It's as if the air around it gets tainted, thick with a sense of dread and discomfort. And don't even get me started on that sickly, twisted smile it has, like it's trying too hard to imitate Joy's warmth, but ending up as a grotesque parody. We need to get out of here as soon as possible, because the longer we stay, the more I feel like I'm going to lose my mind in this revolting place. Let's make sure Tim knows the difference between our Joy and that vile imposter.
Story time. Since today's game mode is really scary, our story has to be equally terrifying. This story will be about how Tim faced something horrifying and mysterious when he started seeing glowing eyes in the dark, following him everywhere. Today's story starts with our hero, Tim, finding himself in a rather unusual situation. Can you imagine that every night when the lights go out, glowing eyes begin to appear from the darkness? It sounds like something out of the scariest nightmare, doesn't it? Tim began noticing these eyes when he moved into a new house recently.
Wow! Just imagine waking up at night and seeing these eyes staring at you. I'd be raising all sorts of alarms if I spotted something like that. Every night for Tim becomes a real trial. The eyes get closer and closer, as if someone is deliberately trying to scare him.
Oh, how terrifying. Tim feels his anxiety increasing every night. He tries to find an explanation for these eyes, but all he discovers are just shadows and sounds that can't be explained. He fears that these eyes might not just be a figment of imagination, but something genuinely dangerous. All this time, he's tried to stay calm, but the fear begins to consume him.
And the worst part? These eyes seem to become more and more alive and sinister. They don't just glow. They look like something nasty and foul is hiding behind them. I'd be horrified to find out that these eyes are trying to sneak up on me from the darkness. Tim finds that they can change their position, following him even in the safest places. He starts avoiding the dark and fears falling asleep.
One day, when Tim decided to investigate what these eyes really were, he found an old note hidden in a dark corner under the floorboards. The note was written by someone who had also been haunted by these eyes. It described how the eyes weren't just ghosts or illusions, but symbols of something much more sinister. Tim realized he needed to solve this mystery to end the terror.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbearable. If I were in Tim's shoes, I'd be furious. But all he can do is figure out how to deal with this horror. Fortunately, he started researching old legends and looking for clues that could explain who or what was behind these eyes.
Every action and discovery becomes more and more intense. Tim uses all his courage to face his fear, and each night becomes harder not to look into the darkness, afraid to see those very eyes. He tries using light to drive them away, but they keep coming back like an unending nightmare.
And finally, when Tim confronts what's behind these eyes, he realizes it's not something physical, but rather a mass of negative energy and fear created by people's past. The eyes were a projection of their fears and horrors, and now that Tim understands this, he knows that only he can change the situation and free himself from this sinister influence.
So friends, Tim's story about the glowing eyes teaches us that even in the darkest corners and the scariest situations, there can be light. It's important not to lose hope and to keep fighting despite all fears. We hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your comments so you don't miss our exciting new tales.
Yes, and honestly, if I were in Tim's place, I'd want you to support us in our work too. All your likes and comments help us create even more interesting stories.
And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss our next videos. I hope you don't encounter horrors like Tim did, but if you do, we'll always be here to support you.
And make sure to leave your comments about today's story. We'll be happy to read your opinions and feedback. Your words help us improve.
The next story will be about how Tim encountered frightening footsteps at night. Story about how Tim faced something truly unsettling. Recently, when he returned home after a long day, he felt something strange happening. Every night as he walked down the hallway, he started hearing footsteps. At first, it was just a faint sound, almost like a whisper. But what was really odd, every time he turned around, he saw no one. These footsteps seemed to get closer and closer, and it began to trouble him. At night, when everything should be quiet, such sounds are especially unsettling.
Wait a minute, this is absolutely intolerable. If I were in Tim's shoes, I certainly wouldn't sit idly by. It's terrible when you hear footsteps and see no one. It drives you crazy. Every time Tim turned around, he found nothing. No person, not even a shadow. And yet the footsteps kept getting closer, making his heart race faster and faster. Even the bravest person would struggle with this.
Oh, this is so frightening to hear. Tim really went through a tough time. His anxiety grew with each night when he heard those footsteps. He tried to calm himself, but every time he turned around, it was just an illusion, and the footsteps kept coming. He started avoiding the hallways, especially at night. Those sounds were like a loud reminder that something was wrong. Anxiety filled his thoughts, and every night became a real torment.
And you know what's even worse? Those footsteps seemed more and more disgusting and unpleasant, as if someone or something was getting too close. Tim noticed that the footsteps were not just normal. They sounded heavy and sticky, and that sensation was absolutely repulsive. Every time he tried to figure out the source of the footsteps, he only found emptiness. It was like a constant pursuit that he couldn't escape from. The feeling was so intense that even his hands started sweating and his breathing became labored.
But here's what's amazing. One night, Tim decided to take a brave step. He brought a camera and recorded every movement when he heard the footsteps. And then something incredible happened. When he reviewed the footage, he discovered that the footsteps were actually noises made by an old radiator, which creaked and clicked. It turned out that it was just old equipment, making sounds that resembled footsteps, especially in the silence of the night.
So, it turns out all that fear was due to an ordinary radiator. All that stress and worry over something so trivial. I understand it might have been really scary, but still. How could he get so easily confused? All those nights of fear could have been avoided if he had just checked that radiator.
Nevertheless, it was an important lesson for Tim. Even the scariest situations can turn out to be simple misunderstandings or trivial things. The main thing is not to let fear control us and to seek rational explanations. Tim managed to handle the situation and now sleeps peacefully, knowing that the footsteps in the hallway were just sounds from an old radiator.
Well, we should also be cautious with the sounds we hear in the quiet of the night. Sometimes these sounds may be simpler than we think, but they can still scare us. We're glad Tim figured it out and no longer has such fears.
We hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Let us know what Roblox mode you'd like to see next. Thanks for being with us, and see you soon.
Yes, support us so we can create more interesting and exciting stories. Your likes and comments are very important to us.
And don't forget to hit the bell to not miss our new videos. We always appreciate your engagement.
See you next time, friends. Be careful and don't be afraid to face what scares you.
Hello, dear friends. As usual, we have joy, anxiety, anger, and disgust here. Today, Tim will be playing a mode called Escape Sadness Barry's Prison Run. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get started.
Oh no! Why did sadness lock us up here, in this colorful yet terribly scary prison? We need to find a way out of here. This place looks deceptively bright, but I feel there are many dangers lurking around. Tim, be careful. Every step could be a trap. Let's combine our efforts and find an exit. Guys, we need your support more than ever. Subscribe, hit the like button, and let's get through this challenge together.
Sadness, how could you lock us in here? This isn't just a prison, it's a nightmare. But know this, I won't go down without a fight. Tim, if anything goes wrong, we'll fight our way out. No one leaves us here.
Ugh, what a horrible place. These rainbow walls look disgusting and are not cheerful at all. Tim, try not to touch anything. Who knows what germs might be here?
Hey, it's Sadness. But why is she chasing us? Maybe she wants to tell us something. Tim, don't stop, but stay alert.
Sadness, if this is another trap, I won't tolerate it. But if she really wants to say something, why doesn't she stop and explain? Tim, keep running, but stay sharp.
Why does she look so strange? And why this chase in the first place? This looks disgusting. Tim, don't let her get too close. Who knows what she's up to?
Phew, I was so worried. It's good that Tim managed to escape, but what do we do now? What other traps might lie ahead? Tim, be very careful.
Guys, I don't know what's waiting for us ahead, but Tim's got everything under control. Look how skillfully and beautifully he's digging. He's doing great.
This is just horrible. Lava everywhere. Tim, be very careful. One wrong step and you could fall. I'm so worried about you. Please be attentive and cautious.
Damn it, why does there have to be lava here? This is just unbearable. Tim, be careful and don't stop. We have to get through this, no matter what.
Ugh, that was simply awful. The lava, the heat, and that unbearable smell. But Tim made it. Let's hope the next challenge is less disgusting.
Wow, guys, look at that huge ball. It looks very dangerous and mesmerizing. Tim needs to be careful here.
Oh, this is really scary. If Tim doesn't get away in time, that huge ball could cause him serious harm. We need to hope that he is fast and careful enough to avoid this.
Come on, Tim, you're almost there. Just a little bit more and you've got this. I believe in you.
Yes, Tim made it, but this prison is just awful. I can't wait to finally leave this disgusting place.
Guys, I suggest we take a little break and listen to a few interesting stories while Tim is escaping from the prison. Haven't liked and subscribed yet? I'll give you 5 seconds to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. If you missed it, I'm giving you another 5 seconds, and let's get started. When we became emotions in Nina's head, we immediately noticed that she was very withdrawn and reluctant to interact with other children. Nina often sat alone during lessons and breaks, and she found it hard to make friends. It was sad to see her joyful moments go unnoticed by those around her. I dreamed that she could open up and share her inner happiness with others. I knew I could help her if I tried harder to show how fun and interesting interaction can be.
However, I was in constant anxiety. I understood that Nina experienced a lot of fear when it came to socializing. Every time she needed to talk to someone or take part in a group task, her heart would start racing and she would become even more withdrawn. I worried that her fears were preventing her from opening up and building relationships. We needed to find a way to help her overcome these anxious feelings so she could feel more confident in social interactions.
I was frustrated when I saw that other kids didn't always understand Nina and sometimes judged her for being unsocial. It was unfair and wrong. I was angry that she had to feel lonely because of this issue and how sometimes others could hurt her. I knew something needed to be done to change the situation, and my anger turned into determination to help Nina improve her life.
At first, I felt disgusted seeing Nina isolate herself from others, with her fears and indecision worsening. It seemed like she was living in her own world, completely cut off from social life. I felt that these internal barriers were preventing her from enjoying social interactions. Therefore, we needed to help her overcome this sense of disgust towards interacting with others.
Initially, we decided to create small but joyful moments for Nina to help her feel more confident. We encouraged her to try participating in simple and enjoyable activities like games with friends or club activities. I used every opportunity to show Nina how communication could bring joy and satisfaction. Gradually, she started becoming more open to interactions and realized that socializing could be fun and pleasant.
I helped Nina manage her anxiety when she faced new situations. I tried to support her by reminding her that many of her fears weren't as terrifying as she imagined. We discussed her fears together, and I helped her gradually step out of her comfort zone, taking small steps.
From time to time, I felt anger towards those who didn't try to understand Nina or made her feel even more uncomfortable. But this anger helped me be more determined in supporting Nina. We worked on building her confidence so she could stand up to injustice and not let it hinder her development.
I learned to control my disgust and turn it into positive energy. We looked for ways to make Nina more open and receptive to interaction by creating comfortable and friendly situations. Gradually, Nina began to pay less attention to her sense of disgust towards socializing and started enjoying communication.
And then, after some time, Nina became significantly more sociable. She started making new friends, participating in group activities, and enjoying interactions with other children. I saw her face light up with happiness when she socialized and made friends. It was a moment we all had been waiting for, and I was incredibly happy to see Nina opening up and starting to enjoy socializing.
My anxiety gradually decreased as I saw Nina handling new situations. I was proud that her fears weren't stopping her and that she was finding joy in socializing. I knew she would continue to grow and develop.
I was satisfied that I was able to help Nina become more confident and sociable. My anger towards those who might have hurt her was now replaced by pride in her achievements. Nina was ready to face challenges, and we all made that possible together.
My disgust towards Nina's isolation and social rejection was now replaced by satisfaction. I was glad that Nina was able to overcome her internal barriers and find her place in the world.
Well, did you like it? If so, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll share another story with you. Today we're all feeling a tremendous amount of excitement and joy. Our boy Tim has received an invitation to an amazing magical city that exists only in ancient fairy tales. We, his emotions, are ready to embark on this thrilling journey with him. Just imagine how many wonderful moments await us. Getting into this city is no easy feat, and Tim and I will have to face many exciting challenges. I can already see his face lighting up with happiness, and this is just the beginning.
But I can't help but worry. A journey to a magical city is always filled with surprises, and not all of them might be pleasant. We don't know what awaits us around every corner. There might be complex puzzles, dangerous situations, or magical creatures that could become obstacles. I'm afraid Tim might face challenges that could be too difficult for him. We need to be prepared for any outcome and help him deal with possible troubles.
I also feel a surge of anger, especially when I think about the potential difficulties. If anyone or anything tries to obstruct our journey, whether it's evil wizards or cunning traps, I'm ready to channel my anger and protect Tim. I won't tolerate anything standing in our way to reach our goal. We must stay strong and determined despite any obstacles that may come our way.
I can't ignore that this magical city isn't always perfect. While it seems enchanting, there might be strange or unpleasant things hidden within it. We could encounter magical creatures that are disgusting or dangerous. Labyrinths filled with webs or mysterious beings with unpleasant appearances might invoke my disgust. We need to be prepared to handle such unpleasantness and not let it distract us from our goal.
Despite all the concerns and worries, we're moving forward with great pleasure. Every new step reveals more wonders and amazing places. We meet friendly creatures, participate in magical games, and enjoy the beauty of the magical city. Seeing Tim open up and smile makes this entire journey especially meaningful and joyful.
I continue to be on guard, but I notice that my anxiety is gradually fading as we tackle the challenges. Tim is becoming more confident, and I'm starting to believe that we can handle any difficulties. We find solutions and deal with problems that arise along the way. This reduces my worries and helps me focus on supporting Tim further.
My anger hasn't disappeared, but now it's directed at protecting Tim from any potential threat. When we encounter difficulties or unpleasant situations, I remain resolute and ready to tackle any obstacle. In the end, our determination and bravery will help us overcome everything we encounter on our path.
In the end, our journey to the magical city becomes a true adventure. We manage to overcome all the challenges, enjoy the beauty, and learn many new things. Tim returns home full of impressions and happiness, and we, his emotions, are proud to have been part of this amazing journey. We've learned to handle our emotions and support each other in any situation, making our experience even more valuable and joyful.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.
Hello, everyone! It's me, Joy, along with my friends Anxiety, Anger, and Disgust. Today, our boy Tim is going to take on the exciting mode called Disgust Barry's Prison Run. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that Tim can get out of here safely.
What? Disgust! Why did you lock us up in this prison? Why did you lock Tim up? This could be really dangerous.
What? Disgust? Are you kidding me? This is your doing? I'm furious. Why would you do this?
Guys, believe me, I really have nothing to do with this. Maybe it's just a poor imitation of me. I would never do something so disgusting to Tim.
Guys, let's not fight. We're a team, we should stay positive. Besides, look around, it's actually quite fascinating and interesting in here
And very dangerous. Every room here feels like a nightmare to me.
Oh, wow, look! Do you see that figure up ahead? It looks just like disgust. How is that even possible? This is infuriating. I'm boiling with anger. How dare they?
We need to find a way out of here. Hey, look over there. Ventilation. If we can reach it, we might be able to escape.
Ugh! Why is it always ventilation? It's so dirty and cramped. But fine, if this is our only way out, we'll have to crawl through it. But I'm protesting.
We're almost there. Just a little more and we'll be saved. It's so exciting, like being in a real movie. We'll make it and everything will be all right.
We did it. We escaped. Now he can't get us. But we need to keep moving to find the exit and finally put this nightmare behind us.
Oh, it stinks so badly here. It's really disgusting. I can't wait until we finally get to fresh air. I hope this path leads to something less revolting.
We're heading down. Tim, are you sure this is a good idea?
Don't worry, Anxiety. Tim always has everything under control. Just a little more and we'll be free. I'm confident about that.
Wow, where are we? What is this dungeon? Everything looks so bright and big. It feels strange.
And it also smells really bad. Oh God, when will we get out of this horrible prison? Subscribers, help us out! Please like and subscribe to our channel. It will give Tim the motivation to keep going if he sees that hundreds of people are rooting for him.
Oh no! This bridge is very dangerous. I'm really worried about our boy Tim. Please be careful, Tim. We always end up in risky situations.
The bridge is crossed. Everything's fine, Anxiety. No need to panic. Tim will handle it.
So here's another challenge ahead. It looks easy, but we need to be extremely careful. Oh no, what's that huge ball? It could crush us.
Tim, run faster. This is very dangerous. Don't get hit by the ball, please. Wait a minute. What are those on the walls? Are they memories? But where did they come from? What are they doing here?
Guys, I'm starting to get confused. The control panel at the beginning, the memories, the bright objects. Where are we even? Maybe Tim ended up in someone's head. Perhaps somewhere in a memory warehouse?
I don't know, but I'm really scared. A copy of Disgust is chasing us again. How many of them are there, and why does it look so much like our friend?
I'm about to erupt lava. I swear, I'm so angry. This is happening again. This place is full of mysteries we still can't solve.
Phew, it looks like we've escaped. She was so disgusting. I'm glad Tim got away from her. She looked terrible and smelled even worse. I hope we don't run into her again.
Guys, let's run up the stairs. See, everything's fine. We're safe for now. No need to panic or be scared.
How about we share a few interesting stories with our viewers while Tim finds his way out?
I think that's a great idea. It will help us distract ourselves from this nightmare and feel less scared. Everyone, give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear some stories from us.
Well, I think our viewers have already liked and subscribed. Tim was always looking for adventure, and here he found himself in an abandoned castle full of mysteries and secrets. He was thrilled to discover such a place, and each new discovery brought him more joy. Exploring the ancient corridors and investigating old objects was a real pleasure for him. I was happy with him, seeing his enthusiasm and excitement.
But with each step, I became more and more nervous. The castle was dark and abandoned, and the silence around us only intensified my fears. Every creak and rustle made me anxious, and I worried that Tim might run into something dangerous. My concerns grew as he explored dark corners and labyrinthine hallways. I was worried for his safety and was on the verge of panic.
When strange things started happening in the castle, I couldn't stay calm. Doors creaked, and sometimes it felt like someone was watching us. This was outrageous. Why did the old castle have to be so mystical and frightening? I was ready to fight these mysterious forces to protect him and ensure his safety. I couldn't stand by and watch the castle scare him.
Some parts of the castle were just disgusting. We encountered decaying furniture, moldy walls, and dust that was almost visible. The smell of mustiness and decay was terrible. These places were so dirty and unpleasant that I felt uncomfortable. The castle was not only scary but also extremely unpleasant to the senses.
Despite all the difficulties and fears, Tim continued to enjoy the adventure. He found an old diary that told the story of the castle's past and its inhabitants. This was a real treasure. Tim was thrilled with his discoveries and proud that he could uncover part of the history of this mysterious place. His joy and satisfaction were contagious, and even in the spooky atmosphere, he continued to find positive moments.
As events became more strange, I was on the verge of panic. Instead of the usual silence of the castle, we began to hear eerie sounds and creaks, and in some places, the air felt heavy and oppressive. I worried about Tim's safety and wanted him to get out of this scary place as soon as possible.
I was infuriated when Tim encountered the most frightening parts of the castle, full of creepy frescoes and symbols. Why did the old place have to be so horrible and uncomfortable? I was outraged that the castle was trying to scare Tim and disrupt his adventure. This was unfair and unacceptable. I wanted Tim to leave all these scary things behind and find a safe place.
When Tim finally got out of the darkest corners of the castle, I felt relieved. The castle was not only scary, but also an extremely unpleasant place. I was glad that all of this was behind us and hoped Tim would never encounter anything like it again.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim was thrilled with his discoveries and adventures. He was proud that he had overcome his fears and explored the abandoned castle. Coming home brought relief and joy. Tim told his friends about his impressions, and his eyes once again sparkled with happiness. This adventure became a unique and unforgettable experience for him. We were all glad that, despite all the fears and discomforts, he found joy and satisfaction in this unusual journey.
So guys, did you enjoy it? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really motivates us to take on new challenges.
The next story is about how we were emotions in the mind of an evil scientist. When we found ourselves in Dr. Green's mind, an evil scientist, I was consumed with righteous anger. He used his intellect to create things that could harm others. It infuriated me. How can one waste their talents on destruction when they could be creating something useful? I decided our task was to channel his energy into a more constructive direction.
We started by trying to spark an interest in him for things that could bring joy and benefit. Instead of dark experiments, we aimed to inspire him to focus on something positive. At one point, he even became interested in creating devices that could improve people's lives. That was a huge step forward. Every time he did something kind or useful, we rejoiced with him, and his mood gradually improved.
Of course, I was constantly worried that he might revert to his old habits. His dark thoughts and plans still occasionally surfaced, and I was anxious that he might become evil again. Whenever he delved into his grim schemes, I tried to redirect his attention to something brighter and more positive. It felt like we were walking on thin ice, and any misstep could ruin everything.
I was particularly disturbed by his experiments, which were often unethical and dangerous. I felt revulsion towards how he treated his subjects and the experiments themselves. We began pushing him to reconsider his methods and think about the consequences of his actions. Gradually, he started to understand that he could be beneficial rather than harmful. His approach to his work became more responsible and ethical.
Over time, we saw Dr. Green begin to change. He became more open, started participating in community projects, and helped other scientists. His work ceased to be dark and threatening. Instead, he focused on creating inventions that could improve people's lives and help the environment. This path was not easy, but eventually, he became a kind and respected scientist. We were thrilled to help him see the brighter side and find the strength for change.
Sometimes he still experienced bursts of anger, but now they were directed at fighting injustice and improving the world. He used his passion and energy to do good rather than evil. We saw him becoming happier and more satisfied with his work and life overall. It was a true miracle to see him transform from an evil scientist into a kind and caring person.
Hooray! Tim defeated the final boss and we finally escaped from the prison. We are free!
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
Hello, everyone, dear friends. As usual, we're here with your favorite characters, Joy, Anxiety, Anger, and Disgust. Today, Tim is going to tackle a new mode called Anger Berry's Prison Run.
Is that Anger? Is that you? Did you lock us up, trap Tim in this scary prison?
No, Anxiety, calm down. I don't know the guy who locked us up here. It must be my twin brother. Otherwise, I can't explain who he is because he really looks like me. Guys, subscribe to the channel and like the video, and also comment below why you think that guy looks so much like me.
Hey guys, look at the walls. Those are memories. How did they get there? Is Tim inside someone's head? How is that even possible?
Why assume we're inside someone's head? Maybe they're just colorful balloons and there's nothing more to it.
I understand. But we're in a ventilation shaft, and it's really scary. Tim, please, let's hurry up. I'm very scared.
Darn it, there's that guy who looks like me again. He spotted us. Let's get out of here.
Oh no, he's really close. I can't stand being near him. He smells awful. Tim, please, let's move to a more pleasant and comfortable place quickly.
Ventilation! I see the ventilation! We need to run there. We'll get away from him, and he definitely won't reach us there. Let's go!
Oh no, not there. We just came from there. I'm really scared of confined spaces. It's dark and cramped. What if Tim gets stuck? Aren't there any other options?
I'm about to explode. Who the hell is this guy? How dare he trap us here? How dare he chase after Tim? Once we escape, I'll sort this out. But for now, we have to stay alert and extremely cautious.
Oh no, oh God, it smells so terrible here. Why did we even come here? I can't stand any of this. Tim, let's get out of here as soon as possible.
See how strong our boy is. He'll make it. We'll definitely get to the end. But where exactly are we now?
Great, we ended up in a dungeon. Everything here is very bright. What if something collapses right on our boy? It's really scary, honestly.
Tim needs to be more careful and vigilant. Below us is lava. If Tim makes a mistake, he could fall right into it. We can't let that happen.
Oh my God, it's so cold, damp, and musty here. Can I please not look at this? Although I'll still feel it. It's awful. There are so many rats. It feels like we're the first ones to come here in hundreds of years.
Look at that big sphere. It looks mesmerizing.
Joy, that big sphere could crush Tim. It's really scary. What if he doesn't make it in time and gets squished? I'm afraid to even think about it.
Anxiety, calm down. Tim is doing great. He'll make it in time and won't get crushed. I promise.
I think Tim needs to be careful. He's almost done it.
Great, hooray. Tim has overcome that obstacle. Keep it up. Guys, I think it's a good time to share a few fascinating stories with our viewers. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll get started. This story is about the invasion of alien monkeys. When we first saw them in our world, I felt a sense of adventure. These creatures were amusing and strange, with vibrant colors and unusual abilities. Although their arrival caused some commotion, I was thrilled to witness something so extraordinary and fantastic. There was joy in seeing the world in a new light and experiencing something unique.
However, I couldn't help but worry. The alien monkeys behaved very oddly. They started exploring the city, and it seemed like they didn't quite understand how things worked here. I was concerned that their behavior could lead to problems or even pose a threat to people. I tried to keep an eye on their actions, hoping that they wouldn't cause harm and could quickly adapt to our world.
Honestly, I was frustrated by how they were wandering around the streets and creating chaos. The monkeys were littering, building their toys right in the middle of roads and disrupting people's daily lives. I felt like we needed to stop them, or at least teach them to behave more respectfully. Why should we put up with their mess and disorder when they're the ones causing it?
When the monkeys started spreading their exotic products and gadgets, I couldn't help but feel disgusted. These strange things looked creepy and were completely messy. Where did they get all that dirt on their paws, and why did they decide to leave it on people's furniture and clothing? I hoped they would quickly learn how to behave in our world. Otherwise, it would become a big problem.
Fortunately, once their behavior stabilized a bit, I noticed that they began interacting with people and helping them with everyday tasks. The monkeys used their alien technology to create fun and useful things, which brought joy to many people. They became part of our world, and their presence added a unique charm to the everyday routine.
Although I saw that the monkeys were beginning to establish contact with people, I still worried that a new conflict or problem could arise. How would their relationship with us develop? Would they be able to adapt and understand that their actions needed to align with our customs? I kept an eye on the situation to be prepared for any surprises.
Sometimes I was still angry when some of the monkeys didn't fully grasp what they could and couldn't do. Their attempts to experiment with our technology led to annoying glitches and even breakdowns. It was extremely frustrating, but I knew that patience and understanding would help to improve their behavior and integration.
Gradually, as the monkeys learned to maintain order and respect our customs, my disgust began to fade. I realized that much of their strange behavior was due to their ignorance about our world. Once they settled in, it became clear that their presence could be interesting and even beneficial.
In the end, the alien monkeys found their place in our world. They became new friends and partners, and their unusual abilities helped people in various aspects of life. We learned to see the world from their perspective and understood that sometimes unexpected events can lead to amazing discoveries and new opportunities. We were all delighted that we could adapt and find common ground with these extraordinary beings.
Did you enjoy the story, friends? Do you want more? Then hit that like button and subscribe, and let's keep going.
Recently, Tim had a real blast. His parents decided to surprise him with a day of adventures at an amusement park. We were all, including me, thrilled about it. Tim couldn't wait to ride all the cool attractions, roller coasters, the Ferris wheel, and water slides. Everything was filled with laughter, bright lights, and fun. Tim was literally glowing with happiness, and it was contagious.
But of course, I couldn't fully relax. I was worried about Tim's safety on the rides. Some of them looked too fast and dangerous. I kept a close eye to make sure he was strapped in and reminded him to pay attention to the instructions. My anxiety grew when Tim and his friends decided to try the most extreme ride in the park.
I was a bit irritated when some of the kids in line for the ride started shouting and pushing. It was disrespectful and disrupted others, including Tim. It especially annoyed me when one of the boys started throwing trash on the floor. I thought if they were more considerate of others, everything would be much more pleasant.
Additionally, I felt disgusted by the state of some places in the park. Seeing dirty restrooms and unclean trash bins, I couldn't help but feel it ruined the overall experience. I hoped Tim wouldn't notice and get upset about the mess. I wanted him to focus on the fun and good experiences rather than the unpleasant details.
Fortunately, despite the small troubles and issues, Tim and his friends enjoyed every moment of the day. They laughed, screamed with excitement on the rides, and even with some inconveniences, the day was unforgettable. Tim was so happy that his smile could light up the entire day. We were all delighted to see him spending time with friends and enjoying all the park's joys.
My anxiety eased a bit when we saw that everyone got home safe and sound. I was relieved that Tim was cautious and followed all the ride instructions. Overall, the day went well despite minor worries.
I was still somewhat annoyed by some people's behavior in the park, but I realized it was important not to let these small things ruin the overall experience. Tim was happy, and that's what mattered most. I decided it was better to focus on the positive moments and enjoy that Tim had such a wonderful day.
Over time, I got used to the fact that large places have some unpleasant details. I was still glad that Tim was able to enjoy his day despite the minor inconveniences. It was important to see that he found joy in every aspect and enjoyed his time with friends.
And so the evening came to a close, and Tim was full of impressions and happiness. This day at the amusement park became a real celebration for him, full of adventures and fun. We were all pleased to be part of this special day, and I was proud of how Tim handled any challenges to make the day truly unforgettable.
So, how did you like the story? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know which mode we should try next time.
Guys, we've reached the final boss. Tim needs to defeat him.
He's huge and scary. Subscribers, help us.
He's disgusting. Tim, let's finish him off and get out of here quickly. I believe in you. You can do it.
Tim, tear him to shreds! Go, Tim! He deserves this. We're at the final stretch. Just one last push and we're free!
Look how well Tim is handling it. Keep it up. Go, Tim. Just a little more to go.
What if it hurts Tim? I'm so scared. Please, my boy, be careful.
Oh no, he's insane. Tim, show him. He has to pay for locking us up. Go on, just a bit more. I believe in you. Tear him apart.
Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world to us and keeps us motivated. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you next time. Hello, dear friends. Today, we are going to escape from the Pomni prison. But before we start, let's all give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This will help our boy Tim to complete challenges more often so that videos can come out more frequently. Let's get started with the escape.
Yes, let's get started.
I heard that Pomni can be beautiful, but you should never fall for this provocation. It's a trap. That's how she lures people in and then locks them in a cage. Therefore, you must always remember that she is very evil and bad. Remember, you can never judge someone as good just because of their appearance. Inside, that person could be very bad and betray you at any moment.
Yes, I agree with Anger. You can never put your hopes on someone just because of their beauty.
I think you need to break that grate with the key on the wall. Take this key and break the grate so we can move forward.
Wow, everything here is so colorful, but I don't like it at all. She probably lures people in not only with her beauty, but also with the brightness and vividness of her rooms. But we mustn't pay attention to that either. Otherwise, we'll end up behind bars again and have to escape all over.
She runs much faster than the usual guards. Although it's strange because men are usually faster and more enduring, but apparently not this time. I think she runs day and night to catch her captives. Otherwise, she wouldn't catch anyone.
Yes, she is fast. But our boy Tim is much faster than her. She will never catch him, even if she trained every day to run faster than she currently can. That's because Tim is naturally strong, fast, and enduring. This helps him escape from all kinds of troubles.
I really dislike the brightness of her rooms. It's blinding and irritating to my eyes. I feel like if we don't get out of here soon, we might go blind from all this bright color.
Wow, we've descended into some kind of cave or underground tunnel. Perhaps it was dug by previous escapees from this prison. Despite being underground, it's still very bright here. It looks like colorful and vivid crystals have grown everywhere. The bright light reminds me of fireworks that are set off during various celebrations, such as New Year's, birthdays, and so on.
There are some platforms here. I think we need to jump across them to move forward. Tim, be careful when you're jumping. One wrong move, and you'll fall straight into the lava.
Let's not distract Tim and let him complete this level, so we'll tell the story of how Tim learned to ride a bicycle. One day, Tim decided he wanted to learn how to ride a bike. It was a warm, sunny day, perfect for a new adventure. I, Joy, couldn't wait to help Tim tackle this challenge. Tim took his new bike and went to the empty street near his house. "What an exciting moment," I exclaimed. "Tim is about to do something new and thrilling. I'm sure he'll have a great time." At first, Tim was a little nervous, but I encouraged him. "You can do it, Tim. It's going to be fun and amazing. You'll feel the wind in your hair and the freedom of movement." He put on his helmet and grabbed the handlebars with determination. We were all supporting him.
As Tim began trying to balance, anxiety started to worry. Oh no, what if he falls? What if he gets hurt? What if he can't learn to ride and gets upset? I fretted, watching his every move. Biking can be dangerous. I hope he's careful and doesn't get into trouble.
I, Anger, was irritated by all the difficulties Tim faced. Why does riding a bike have to be so hard? I grumbled. Why can't he just learn immediately? It's so frustrating when things don't go smoothly. But despite my frustration, I knew it was important to support Tim. He has to deal with these challenges to get better, I said. But it's definitely annoying when he falls and makes mistakes.
Disgust watched the process with thinly veiled disdain. Ew, look at those dirty knees and elbows from falling. Why does biking have to be so messy and unpleasant? The sweat and dirt are awful, I complained. But Tim isn't giving up despite all the unpleasant moments. We need to support him, even if it's really gross.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim kept practicing diligently. His efforts paid off, and one day he finally managed to ride without falling. "Look at that! He did it!" I cheered. "He learned to ride a bike. All our support and encouragement helped him get through the challenges. He's so proud of himself, and it's such a joy to see his success.
Although Tim succeeded, I still worried a bit. I hope he's careful on the road and always wears his helmet. Biking can be dangerous, but he did great today. I'm glad he learned to ride, but I'll keep worrying about his safety.
I had to admit that seeing Tim finally riding without falling made me a little less irritated. All right, maybe it wasn't as easy as it seemed, and he handled the challenges well. Despite the frustrations, he overcame all the obstacles. Maybe biking isn't so bad after all.
Even though the process of learning to ride a bike was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's satisfaction made it more tolerable. I suppose it's worth it if he's happy. Maybe next time won't be so gross. We just have to get through the unpleasant moments to enjoy the success. In the end, Tim's experience learning to ride a bike was memorable, filled with challenges and achievements. Despite all our different feelings, we were all proud of how he learned and succeeded in his new skill.
Before we start the next story, we'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. The next story will be about Tim's first experience at a concert of his favorite band.
The day Tim had been waiting for had finally arrived. His first concert of his favorite band. Joy was absolutely thrilled for him. Tim had been counting down the days and preparing for this moment for weeks. When the big day came, he wore his favorite band t-shirt, packed his tickets, and headed to the venue with a huge smile on his face. "This is going to be amazing," I cheered. Tim is about to experience something he's dreamed about for so long. The music, the atmosphere, the excitement. It's going to be unforgettable. As Tim walked into the venue, I felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. Look at him. He's so excited and ready for this experience. It's going to be one of the best nights of his life.
But as Tim got closer to the venue, anxiety started to creep in. What if he loses his tickets? What if there's a problem with the entrance? What if the concert is sold out and he can't get in? I worried, watching him with concern. There are so many things that could go wrong. I hope everything goes smoothly for him. Inside the venue, I continued to fret. The crowd looks huge. What if Tim gets lost or overwhelmed by all the people? What if he has trouble finding his seat? Anxiety was on high alert, hoping that Tim would stay calm and enjoy the concert despite any potential issues.
Anger was feeling frustrated by some of the challenges Tim faced. Why is it so crowded? Why are people pushing and shoving? This is so annoying, I grumbled. It's so irritating when people don't respect personal space. Why can't everyone just be considerate and let Tim enjoy the concert? As the concert started, I became even more irritated. The noise is so loud. Why does it have to be this overwhelming? It's just not fair to Tim that the sound is so intense and the crowd is so chaotic.
Disgust had its own issues with the concert experience. Look at all the spilled drinks and trash on the floor. Why does it have to be so messy? The sticky floors and the smell of sweat are just gross, I complained. And the smell of food mixed with all the sweat is really unpleasant. Despite the mess, Disgust acknowledged that Tim was having a good time. Even though it's disgusting here, I suppose it's worth it if Tim is enjoying the concert. It's just something we have to deal with in these kinds of situations.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim was having an incredible time. The band came on stage, and the music was just as amazing as he had hoped. Look at him. He's so happy, singing along and enjoying every moment. This is exactly what he dreamed of, and it's such a joy to see him so thrilled. Tim's excitement was contagious, and even though there were some challenges, the overall experience was fantastic. He's living his dream right now. This night will be a cherished memory for him for years to come.
Even as the concert went on, I was still a bit anxious. I hope Tim stays safe and has a good time. The crowd can be overwhelming, but he seems to be handling it well. I'm relieved that he's enjoying himself despite the challenges.
As the concert went on, I had to admit that the frustration of the crowd and the noise seemed less significant. Okay, maybe it wasn't perfect, and there were some annoying moments, but Tim is really enjoying himself. I suppose the experience is worth the inconvenience.
Even though the venue was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's joy made it more bearable. It's still gross here, but if Tim is happy, that's what matters. We just have to get through the unpleasant aspects to enjoy the success of his experience. In the end, Tim's first concert experience was memorable, filled with excitement and challenges. Despite all our different feelings, we were all happy to see how much he enjoyed his favorite band's performance.
Well, the game is coming to an end, and Tim has defeated the final boss. I think he's learned that sometimes appearances can be deceiving and can lead to very bad consequences. It's important to always stay vigilant and cautious to avoid trouble. I hope you've already liked the video and subscribed to the channel. Well, I'm signing off now. Goodbye, everyone. Hello, dear friends. I'm Joy, and I'm so happy you're with us today.
Hey there, I'm Anger. Ready for something really exciting? We've got something special for you.
Hi, it's Anxiety. I hope you're all doing well. Today's adventure will be a bit tense, but we'll get through it together.
Hi, this is Disgust. I hope you're all ready for new challenges and interesting moments. Let's get started.
Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. It helps us keep doing what we love.
And leave comments so we know which adventures you like the most.
Yes, and share your thoughts. It's important for us to know what you think.
Ready? Then let's go. Let's start our adventure.
Today, Tim and I are going to play Roblox in the Escape Baby Bobby Daycare mode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and very exciting.
Yeah, let's see if we can escape this daycare. It better be challenging.
I'm already feeling a bit nervous. Daycares can be full of surprises.
Let's just hope it's not too messy. I'm not a fan of sticky situations.
All right, let's get started and see what adventures await us.
Oh no, look at this huge room. And there are so many platforms to jump across. What if Tim misses and falls? These platforms are so small and far apart. What if he loses his balance? It's so scary. I don't know if he can do it.
Calm down. Tim can do this. He just needs to focus and be careful. It's a test of strength and endurance, and Tim will pass it. Stop doubting. If Tim gets nervous, he will definitely fall. He needs to stay focused and act confidently. We have to support him, not scare him, so let's cheer him on together.
You're right, Anger. It's just, I can't help worrying. I hope everything goes well. Okay, I'll try not to stress so much. Go, Tim, you can do it. We believe in you.
That's better. Hey, Tim, watch each platform carefully, take confident steps, and don't rush. You can do this. Imagine you're a hero overcoming all obstacles in your path. You got this. We believe in you.
Today we have an incredible story about Tim who accidentally found a magical flying skateboard. Yes, you heard it right. A skateboard that can fly. Tim was over the moon when he first soared through the air, and this was the start of his amazing adventure.
But joy was short-lived. As soon as Tim began using the skateboard, he ran into problems. Evil trolls appeared in town, wanting to steal the magical skateboard. They were a real threat. Tim and his friends had to fight to protect the skateboard from these nasty trolls.
Every time the trolls showed up, I was filled with worry. I always feared for Tim's safety. For instance, when the trolls captured one of Tim's friends, he had to carry out a dangerous rescue in underground catacombs. Every step was fraught with danger, and I was terrified at the thought of something bad happening.
I can't forget what Tim had to endure. When he sneaked into the troll's lair, he stumbled upon a disgusting swamp full of sticky, foul-smelling slime. The trolls lived in filth, and their lair was filled with unpleasant odors and revolting creatures. I was just appalled by what was happening.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim showed incredible courage and ingenuity. He used the magical skateboard to skillfully maneuver through obstacles and escape from the trolls. In the end, he managed to defeat the trolls and return the skateboard to its rightful place so no one else would be hurt.
Yes, Tim did it, but it was a real battle. The trolls not only wanted the skateboard, but also destroyed half the town. Every moment was filled with conflict and aggression.
But despite all the fears and worries, Tim and his friends managed to overcome. They learned to work together and use their strengths to tackle every challenge. It was very tense, but the outcome was worth it.
And even though the adventure was full of unpleasant moments, Tim showed that with determination and bravery, you can overcome any obstacle, no matter how awful.
So, kids, that was an amazing adventure. Thanks for spending this time with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on new stories and adventures of Tim. And the next story will be about Tim, who unexpectedly found himself in an incredible world where every day repeats over and over as if he had entered Groundhog Day. At first, it seemed amazing and fun, as Tim could do anything without worrying about the consequences.
But, as often happens, not everything was smooth. Tim quickly realized that each day repeated with small but annoying changes. Even simple things, like the order in his room or what he did in the morning, became a constant source of irritation. He tried to change his actions, but nothing could alter the fact that everything started from scratch again.
What worried me the most was that Tim didn't know when this endless day would end. Every time he thought he found a way to escape or change something, he woke up again on the same day. This created a huge sense of anxiety because he didn't know how to cope with the cycle.
And not only that. Every day Tim faced the same unpleasant things. The memories of having to clean dirty spots in the house or repeatedly tidy up things that were already cleaned were just disgusting. All of this made Tim's day even more unpleasant.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim found a way to use this strange situation to his advantage. He learned to make each thing better than before. He used every repetitive day to perfect his skills, help others, and have fun. It was amazing how he turned even the most ordinary moments into something special.
Even though he continued to face annoying repetitions, Tim learned to deal with it. He stopped getting angry at every little mishap and started using his new skills to overcome challenges.
I saw how Tim became more confident and calm despite the constant repetition of the day. He learned to manage his anxiety by focusing on his goals and trying not to worry about when it would all end.
And even though many things remained unpleasant, Tim learned to take lessons from them. He stopped complaining about dirty and disgusting things and began to see them from a new perspective. It was unexpected but still useful.
In the end, when Tim learned to find joy in every moment and used his experience to improve the lives of those around him, the Groundhog Day ended. He returned to normal time, but with new knowledge and skills that helped him handle any difficulty.
And although the path was long and irritating, Tim managed to overcome this challenge and became stronger.
I was so happy to see Tim learn to cope with anxiety and find a way to handle any situation.
Yes, and even despite all the unpleasant moments, Tim was able to use his skills to make his life better. It was truly amazing.
And the next story will be about how Tim found himself on a magical island where all wishes come true. This island was full of amazing things: flying crystals, talking animals, and an ocean of chocolate milk. Tim was on cloud 9 with happiness.
But not everything was so rosy. The island had its problems. At first, Tim struggled with magical creatures who often got their wishes mixed up, leading to mishaps. Some island games were incredibly difficult and even frustrating.
I was worried about the unpredictability of the island. Every day, something new and strange happened. Snake rain, unexpected disappearances of objects, and unpredictable behavior from magical creatures. Tim didn't know what to expect, and it made him very anxious.
And I was grossed out by how some magical creatures left their mess everywhere. These creatures were messy, and there was dirt and sticky spots all over the place. Tim tried to find a way to deal with this mess, but it was quite a challenge.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim didn't miss a chance to enjoy the happy moments. He explored the island, met kind creatures, and took part in amazing adventures. In the end, he found a way to use the island's magic to make his day even more magical.
Although the island was full of challenges, Tim learned to handle them. He used his skills to overcome the toughest trials and turned frustration into motivation.
Over time, Tim got used to the strange and unpredictable events. He began to adapt to the new rhythm of life on the island and even found joy in unexpected twists.
Tim also found ways to deal with the dirt and mess. He became more tolerant of inconveniences and learned to find pleasure even in the least appealing aspects of island life.
Thus, Tim completed his adventure on the magical island, full of wonders and amazing discoveries. He learned to find joy even in tough situations and made the experience unforgettable.
Tim became stronger and more confident despite all the difficulties.
He learned to handle unexpected situations and grew more self-assured.
And even the dirt and mess didn't ruin his adventure. Tim learned to cope with inconveniences and find something positive in them.
So our adventure ends on a high note, with new knowledge and experiences that Tim will remember for a long time. Well, our stories have come to an end. We hope you enjoyed listening to them as much as we enjoyed telling them. We put a lot of heart into them and tried to make them interesting and exciting for you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue creating new and thrilling adventures for you.
Yeah, and every like, every subscription, and every comment really matters to us. We want our stories to reach as many people as possible, and your support helps us a lot. Don't forget to leave comments so we know what stories you want to hear next. Your thoughts and suggestions are very valuable to us.
Thank you for being with us today. Avoid dirty situations unless they're in a story. Keep your space clean and your heart joyful. We're happy to share these moments with you and hope our stories bring you joy and inspiration.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.